There it is. I bear witness to the 100th video!
I hate this channel.
No! No!
That's right. This is the 100th video. And I mean this, as in, this is the rest of the video.
And also me, black screen dev. I'm gonna be cutting in every once in a while, cause recording got spotty, so some of my stories were incomplete. I thought I filled in the gaps, in separate sessions, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna be jumping in to kinda give some context every once in a while. Okay, sorry to butt in, continue.
Never mind this dollar store, backrooms ass looking wallpaper. It's just part of a little experiment I'm working on. But that's besides the point, because the point is, this video was supposed to be 100 things expressing myself. I feel like I don't have enough of me on the channel. It's more short bursts of different gaming situations and then a single plant related video. There hasn't really been anything about me or related to me. So this was supposed to be the weirdest show and tell of all time with 100 things that I have that I guess express myself. But I don't have 100 things. Most of my shit's in storage. And even if I had all that stuff, I don't think it'd make 100 things. So we're just gonna do some things that kind of describe a little bit about me on a surface level through material wealth. That shouldn't be the title. So the first thing we're gonna start off with of mine is my hats. My various stack of hats here, which you have seen briefly, but now we'll see in full detail. So starting with the starter hat. The first hat that I got ever since I got interested in brimmed hats. I like cowboys as much as the next guy. I mean, they're pretty cool, but the real reason I got into these is practicality. Having the full brim, I feel like it's just a nicer style and it's less chafing than a ball cap, but you get more sun protection, you know, like I could block all of this. Whereas with just this ball cap, I could only block like a small portion, but this, I could block all that light. You can't see me. I got this hat in Mexico while I was on a cruise that I made this video about, or this. Am I flipped? Am I living a mirrored dimension version of your existence? Next hat. This hat was a gift, so I don't have a whole lot to say about it except for the fact that this one's from Mexico, this one is from Colorado. It gives me some real John Hammond vibes. I feel like I'm about to discover Jurassic Park with this sucker. You know what I'm saying? Great hat, but the brimming's kind of thrown off because it's an arc. Anyway, this was a gift hat. It's my white hat, my special occasion. If I decide to Indiana Jones it with a white suit, we got that hat. And then we got my favorite one, just aesthetically. I mean, that's badass. You've seen this hat briefly. It's got the feather, very fancy. This hat I got from Texas. I don't know where it's originally from, but I got it in Texas. And I lived in Texas for a brief while, which is part of why I wanted to do cowboy hats as well. Because, you know, not everybody can say that they had been lived in Texas and survived to tell the tale. Next category, the plant category.
Plant your love and let it grow.
Now I have a lot of plants, and they're kind of cut off at the front a little bit. Look at how nice that one is. So we're gonna do these in sets of plant type, starting with the Monstera deliciosas, because those are the only Monsteras I have.
Also a Thai constellation, but I'm a bit of a moron, so we're gonna have to get to that later.
You're gonna be shocked. You're gonna say, really? This dude has only made one plant-related video on his channel, and then he's rocking all these? Yes! The answer is yes. And again, I mean, I really just cannot stress just exactly how many of these suckers I have in my collection of plants. Okay. Where the hell do I sit? Oh, you think that this is the end of it because I sat down, don't you? This isn't even all the Monsteras. These are just the ones that fit on the table. I have the bigger ones. we'll get to the bigger ones later. Now, the first thing you're gonna notice in this collection is a wild disparity between how nice some of these look and how well their care is. You can't really... Look at how nice some of these are, right? And then look at how rough some of these are, right? Like this one's all over the place. You know, the stick's way too big. He's facing off this way. He's facing off that way. What the heck's going on here? Well, a lot. I don't know where to be. For starters, some of these plants, I can't really get him in the frame, but like, he's looking rough, you know? Oh, he looks sad. He looks kind of thirsty, doesn't he? No, he's not. The reason I can tell you that is because I use one of these. That's a moisture meter, by the way. No, the real problem... The real problem is sun damage, okay?
Or damage from lack of sun, which I believe still constitutes as sun damage.
Let's get into why. So this guy right here at the end, my little example plant, that stick is just way too big. I gotta fix that. So he's rocking a terracotta pot, which absorbs a lot of the water. So he's actually struggling on a little bit of water, but I had him against a window and I didn't notice. He grew up, this leaf grew up into a window and it got pressed against it, and that's why it's faced backwards, and it's supposed to be like this, but it's faced backwards that way because it got pressed against the window and I didn't notice. So now it's kind of burned, it's a little yellow. I'm waiting for a new leaf, because once I get a new leaf, I might even just snip that one off because it's already much more yellow than the newer leaf. It shouldn't be this yellow, like there should be a few before this guy, but he's pretty burnt, so he's in recovery right now. Same with this guy. Same with this little guy right here. You can see I've even got... This is something you're not supposed to do. I'll admit to that. I have a dead leaf. A very dead leaf. Using it to prop up this guy. Now the reason I'm doing that is because the leaf is very much dead, so I didn't think it mattered too much. But I can't use like a Velcro. Where's one you can see? I can't use one of these Velcro straps because it's too small and delicate. But it was trying to dig itself back in the dirt. Like you could just see comparatively how far leaned forward this one is over on this side compared to the other ones who are actually looking upward toward the light. That is a spider web. Who's living in here? Get the hell out of here. Anyway, I will admit that's something I shouldn't do. And also this leaf is a little turnt. It should be more like that, but it's kind of turned up. I gotta adjust some of my new lighting situations, but he's also in terracotta. This last one, he's just in too dark of a corner. I mean, you could see a new leaf spike. I don't have a very good angle on it, but you sure do. That one I'm excited for. It should, you know, look a lot nicer than these sad leaves. These guys were just too dark for too long, and then this pot's a little big, so he's been a little too wet. Been trying to work on that. Try not to put things in pots too big. In fact, Monstera is actually like a smaller, tighter pot. They like to be a little bit bound. And then you have this guy, which is the last struggling one. He's also in recovery. I divided him from this one. So these two are actually one and the same. He was just doing a lot better than this one was. At first, I wasn't sure if this one had a disease, because I had a leaf on it that was really spotty and blackening way too quick. So I cut it off, cleaned it, divided it just to save this one in case this one didn't work out, but they both have a new leaf, so they're recovering. And this dude's just like, he should be, like, I don't want to break his stem or anything, but he should be more like that. You know how it is. I don't want to take too much time on these guys, so we'll talk about some of the better ones. Look at how pretty this one is. Look at how glossy and clean that leaf is. I didn't even go through and dust these before I showed them on camera. I probably should have. So they're a little bit dusty. But that is a brand new leaf. Like, that sucker just unfurled. I've also got, where is it? Which side is it on? This sucker. Beautiful leaf. Let's look at some more Monsteras. Good God. See, you only see one on the table here, and you think, oh, dude, you could have fit that in. Just give me a sec. I got a story for you. This guy. Those of you with a keen eye will notice a similarity between all these plants. Not just that they're all in a pot a little too big, but that they are all a singular structure. What do I mean by that? They're all one single plant, one stem, each having leaves, I mean, obviously. But this plant is special because one, they're all like pointed directly upward. But two, this pot looks too big, but I assure you it is not. I'm very tempted to pull this sucker out and show you the root ball that takes up this entire thing. And if it weren't for how small the holes were on the bottom, would already be shooting out the bottom. I just wanted to call special attention to this guy because the reason that happened, I will warn you. If you want better growth at the cost of pot space, take these aerial roots right there on this side, right? Well, there's one over here next to this Velcro strap sticking down into the ground. Now, if you send an aerial root directly into the ground, it's going to do what all other roots do, grow. However, this sucker managed to burrow down, split off in several different branches, and now has a bulge right here encompassing this whole stretch of the pot. This sucker almost needs repotted because of that. So it's getting some tremendous growth. This growth is happening really fast. You can see it looks in great shape. I mean, sure, the leaf faces could be pointed down a little bit more, but that's based on the trajectory of the light they're receiving. Plus, I got a new leaf spike right there, which is very exciting. Hopefully that's a better angle for you. But yeah, this sucker, heavy, full pot. Small plant, full pot. The opposite of what a Monstera normally does, so I called special attention to this one. There's one more that I'd like to bring to your attention that there's no chance you'll see on the table. Ah. Oh, that's just the pot? Okay, hold on. See if this will work. Hey, there we go. Yeah, you can kind of see that, huh? They're all pointed up, it's hard to see. You don't have the best look on it. But this is my biggest one. Look at how full it is. Look at how lush it is. Look at how dusty it is because I need to clean it. I'm actually going to do that today. Great, huh? I don't want to move the camera because it was a pain in the ass to put that way. So I'll give you a bit of an upshot. Look at all those fenestrated leaves, right? Beautiful. But let's call into attention the thing I did before. This is not a single Monstera. This is 3 separate Monsteras, and look at what happened. I got a tiny little seedlet, dude, sapling. Now that leaf, I will admit, it looks rough. It looks like it's really struggling. It's not even properly thrown. But so I technically have 4 in here.
And I get into this a little bit more later in the segment, but just to clarify, no, none of these have borne fruit or therefore seeds. What I think happened here is while I was dividing a bunch of my other Monsteras from this base Monstera, some of the roots got damaged enough in a way, there was somehow a stem with a leaf node, and I think that's what pushed up through the soil, but this wasn't from a seed. I haven't had any of those on mine yet. Again, I get into it later in the video.
But this is my biggest one. And this stick was just an old cracked piece of wood. It was cracked up toward the top. And so I took a blade and I did this, and then I just drilled a shit ton holes into it. And now, the aerial roots are actually growing into it, because they're climbing plants. These aeroids love to climb. And look at how cool this cage, it almost looks like a mangrove tree, with all these aerial roots that are just shooting down in behind it. This sucker's heavy, and it also needs repot very soon, and I just recently potted. But I'm not sure how to go about this sucker. The last time I repot this guy, I didn't mess with it. It was kind of stuck in with the root ball, so I just took it all in one group and kind of plonked it into this pot and filled around the edges. I don't know what I'm going to do for the next go, though, because as you can see, we've already got... Oh, you can't see it very well. We've already got it starting to shoot out from every hole. There's a root pressing from somewhere. Now, that's not much. It's not like it's spiraling all the way down. But it's amazing how fast these guys can get going. They're claimed to be slow growers, but if you give them the right conditions, they'll make you fruit, dog. You can eat these fruit. They make fruit. Look it up. It's crazy. Never seen anybody do it in their house, so that's my goal. Next plant! And yes, I know this is very disorganized and there's still a Monstera on the table. I'm dealing with it. It's actually more fun than I thought it would be. Show and tell is kick-ass, man! So anyway, mandarin plants.
Good luck finding it that way, because if you Google mandarin plant or even mandarin houseplant, you're just gonna get a bunch of mandarin trees. So if you really want to find one, I recommend looking it up by one of its common names, the fireflash, or the fireflash spider plant, or the orange spider plant. I don't know, just mandarins, yeah.
These suckers are low-growing, shade-dwelling plants who want as much light as possible. But it cannot be direct light, or else you'll burn the shit out of them, and they will die, and they'll hate you, and they'll lose all their beautiful color. So what you need to do is get all the light in the world and then give them like another plant is what I use. I use my monsteras to shade these guys nowadays, and their growth is coming in much better. It's a better example on this guy though, because this is actually a division from this plant. These two plants were one, like this, okay? And I split them, because this end was really struggling. This is a separate one, but it was really struggling, and it wasn't getting enough light. It was being completely shadowed by this plant, and it was dying, as you can see. It dying, no good. But if you give it its own little setting, its own little care, you can see already I have a couple new growths, and then I believe, no, I don't have a shoot going in there. I have a shoot going in this one though. This one has a shoot coming up. But these two leaves are obviously the newest leaves. You can see there's no burn, no leaf tip damage. Like, it's good. They're a little thin and narrow, and they're also pointed upwards enough. That means they do need a little bit more light. I think I have them a little too far away. But if you keep them shaded, they'll be a very dark, vibrant green with these bright orange stems, hence the name. And I have this one growing in a coffee pot because I always wanted to have a plant growing in a coffee pot. And a minor, very minor amount of coffee grains can do the plant some good, depending on the plant. Please do your research before you get any of these plants and you start doing stuff to them.
Seriously, I do want to make a point of that. I mean, I don't have a degree or anything. I'm not a professional botanist or anything like that. I've just been caring for a few specific houseplants for a few years. And especially these fire flash, whatever you want to call them. I'm still relatively new to these. I've had them a little over half a year. So I just want to stress, any plant you get, do as much research as you can. You could teach me. I'm just very briefly going over some of the plants that I do have that I care about. But again, I'm not a master of this craft, not by a long shot. I don't know everything. There's a lot I still have to learn, so please do research and everything. Also, there are holes in the bottom of that coffee pot so it could drain. So, just so you know.
The only other thing I want to share is this segment just kind of recently missed this, but you'll see all these little like clumps in the center of both of the plants actually. Both of them have these. They used to be flowers. They used to be very pretty white flowers like the ones I'm showing on screen. And if I have any pictures of mine when it was flowering, then that one's on screen as well. But this is what the flowers look like. Now when they're done flowering, they create these seed pods, which are just, they're pods, they got a ton of seeds in them. Like if I hold them against the light and you had a good view of them, you could see all the seeds in there. They're just little black orbs, basically. And once these are done, I do have an example of this. Once these are done seeding, the pod in the middle, oh gosh, that's dark. The pods in the middle will begin to die off like the one that you kind of see right, I only have so many hands. Those seed pods will darken, they'll die off, and then that's how I know that pod right there is ready. So what I could do, I'll even do it on camera. I mean, they can release by themselves, they do in nature. But you could just pop this little guy off of there. I like to go for a bit of a twist. You don't just want to pull directly because you could pull the whole plant out of the pot. Just give them a little twist and pull, and that's a seed pod. You can see there's tons of ripe seeds in there. I'd have to say there's probably about 30 seeds, 32 seeds in there, give or take. What you could do is you could take these out of the seed pod, put them in a plastic bag or like a dry glass container or whatever.
Like one of these, which conveniently happens to be holding all of the mandarin seed pods that I had just plucked. Conveniently.
Store them in a dark, cool place. And whenever you feel like having another mandarin plant, or you want to replace one that maybe died off, or whatever reason, you can just plant those seeds. Keep them damp, not moist, and keep them well shaded. But now I guess I gotta go through and do all those, but maybe I'll just grow another one in there. Here you go. Here you go, beautiful. Done. Eventually it could grow a plant. Chlorophytum mandarin. I've got the damn scientific name on there, as well as the place that I bought this one from. I get some of my plants from local nurseries. Unfortunately, I have to get a lot of mine online, and you'll see why in the segment after the next segment. But for now, we're segueing into online plant. The only one I've shown. Also, I'm just gonna take this dead leaf off. There, come. Prettier. So a little over a year ago, I made a plant-related video, and since this has basically turned into a plant video, we're gonna check in on that plant and see how he's doing. Now, last time you saw this guy, he was in a much smaller pot, and this pot may be a little bit big for him, but This is my Monstera constellation, as seen on Dev77 TV. Finally got to say that, hell yeah. So yes, again, these are not the Albo, or the Alba, however you want to pronounce it. I've heard both.
And a quick Google search reveals that the verdict of this little dispute is Albo. A-L-B-O. Albo. So every time you hear me mess it up, that's a point off.
Partially very variegated, not as white as the Alba, but that's kind of why I like these guys. Because all the white spots, they don't photosynthesize, they just look pretty. So every bit of work comes in on the green, so they're working extra double hard, and that's why they're that. Dark, beautiful, vibrant green. Gosh, I wish I can give you a better look at it. That's like the best, but it's too shiny because the light situation I have in here is really bad. But yeah, it's Thai Constellation. This is probably the last leaf or the newest leaf that was on it when you guys saw it. But look at how time progresses. I think this is the last remnant of what it was before what it is now. So, and as for this little device that I have behind it, you've noticed each one has had a stick of some kind to climb up. Some have been actually useful and some have just been like a random piece of driftwood or that I found or whatever. But this is an actual moss pole. This is designed to be watered. You wet this sucker, the aerial roots grow up and into it, and it basically works as an extension of the pot. Like if I wanted to with this thing, I could have kept that same tiny pot, kept this in there basically, and it would just start more growing up. Now, my aerial roots aren't growing into this yet, but they are growing on it, as you can kind of see there. Like I got an aerial root that's crawling up, kind of meandering his way up. He's not sure if he wants to dig in there yet. He's just kind of flowing up like a snake almost, just serpentining his way, spiraling up the moss pole. But yeah, that's the Thai Constellation check-in. Hell yeah. Time for a new type of plant, because that's all the Monsteras, finally.
For real this time.
And now it's time for the carnivorous plant segment. The part where all these plants will eat your bugs, pets, and loved ones if you give them the opportunity. Let's dive in. So we're not starting with the big one that I have the spotlight on. There's a small reason for that, but I'm also just saving the biggest for the last because it's got the most detail for what I'm trying to describe. Except for this one. This one goes after that. Again, it will all make sense. So we're starting with these two. First of all, the Pinguicula. And it's just my tiny one little ping. This tray, actually, I bought this as a kit, and it came with 3 pings, but the other 2 were dead on arrival. So I just worked really hard to try and keep this other ping alive.
This is one of the few times I will legitimately use the term mostly dead. I did plant them still in this little tray. There were 3 of them in total. I gave them all the same care, but this was the only one that survived. The other 2 just died off natural causes. Of course, by natural causes, I mean being stuck in a box, which, I don't know, testament of will.
My hope is that this Pinguicula will eventually be healthy enough to reproduce, and then I can get more Pinguiculas. But I'm still kind of new to pings. I'm not super good with them. What they do during dormancy, during the winter, if they get cold enough, they'll just kind of shrivel up and they'll turn into a tiny rosetted version of themselves. And then when they get big, they'll just expand and kind of bleh out again. So they're super sticky. I mean, they're not as sticky as some of these other plants, but a bug just lands on it and then it melts to death. It's metal as fuck, and I love it. The next plant falls into 2 separate categories of plants, both of which I do not currently have on this table. This guy is new, hence the humidity cup. And while it is a sundew, it's actually more closely related to the Venus flytrap, of which I own none. Hence why it's in this more temperate. These are all tropical, but it's the more temperate segment of my tropical carnivorous houseplants, because I don't have any Sarracenia, which are temperate houseplants, although I really want some. I'm working on that. But this plant is the one and only Drosera sundew regia, the king sundew. Now, it doesn't look like much now. And again, it's brand new, so there's no like dew on it or anything really. There's actually a tiny bit already. That's kind of surprising. Like, I just got this sucker out of shipping. It can grow up to 2 feet and more, depending on its conditions. But this sucker, like, I'm talking these little leaf strands, long as my arm. No exaggeration. The whole plant, half my height. I'm 5'9".
Now, I know you can lip read, okay? It's pretty obvious. Look at it. I said 2. 2. I'm 5'9", okay? 5'9". 9 inches. I don't know what. I mean, I'm just stupid. I don't know. I mean, maybe I was thinking because the total height of the plant, the average growth gets up to 2 feet, and then those stalks are like 18 inches. That's the point I was trying to make. Instead, I just cut off like 7 inches of my own height. I'm 5'9". Okay, it says it on my driver's license. I feel like I have to defend that. I'm not that short, okay? I'm not saying I'm tall, but I'm not that short.
No exaggeration. Look these guys up. They grow in South Africa. Of all the carnivorous plants, they're one of the more rare and endangered ones. None of the other sundews really even look like the king sundew, so it's very special, very unique, and it is now one of my 2 prized plants in my collection. The second of my prized plants is not the Monstera constellation. It is one of these 2. And we're gonna start with the big one. This is a Nepenthes pitcher plant. Really couldn't distinguish which of the, I don't know. Here's the story. You've seen this plant before if you watched that other plant video I did. Because this plant was about this tall, and it was cut in half, and it had none of these beautiful large pitchers that you see before you currently. I was at a local nursery. I won't name which one. This plant would not get sold. Nobody else would buy it. They bought all the other Nepenthes. It was a seasonal thing, so they didn't have a lot of carnivorous plants. And usually when it is carnivorous plant season in the stores, your local Walmart just has like some fly traps, and then they die, and you think, oh no, I killed them. When really it's probably just a winter dormancy, and you threw away a perfectly good plant that was just going through winter. Beside the point though, this sucker would not sell. Nobody knew why, nobody knew what, so they eventually threw it away. And I happened to walk in the nursery that day and I said, hey, what is that thing? Because I couldn't tell what it was. It was black, it was decrepit. I couldn't even tell that it was a carnivorous plant. And I was like, what is that? And they said, oh, it's a monkey cup. And I said, a monkey what? And they explained the whole, it's another name for these plants. But basically I decided, you know what? If you let me have it, I will try it. And they said, I don't care, take it, go ahead. And so I did, and it turned into this. And now I'm really happy with it, because it's got these big ass pictures. And I haven't mentioned this already, but I've probably already been doing it. I've only got the one camera. So all these fancy camera angles and everything you're seeing currently have been recorded at a separate time with this very same camera, because the camera is my phone. So hopefully you guys enjoy some of these closer angles. I'm just now mentioning it because I just now got the idea. But look at this picture, which I'm voicing over and only looking at in my own eyes because I'm doing this while I'm still sitting at the table. Anyway, look at this picture. Look at its majesty. Look inside of there. You see that fluid? That eats the bugs. Look at that bug. It's being eaten by the fluid. I'm not going to get into the full depth explanation of these plants because that's not really what this video is. But just know these things are awesome and beautiful and you should research them, and they're also super easy to keep as houseplants. So if you want one and you want a plant that eats your bugs, they're super accessible and super easy. You just need to use distilled/reverse osmosis water. That basically means just don't use your faucet water or like bottled water. Eventually the minerals will build up and kill it. So you don't want minerals. This thing does not want minerals, no fertilizer, nothing. Just water and bugs. Grow it in moss. Super simple, super easy. You get beautiful pictures, and these aren't even, like this isn't even the biggest size I can get off of this specific one alone. And I have no idea what kind this one is.
And this was actually the hardest factoid to find for this whole video so far, but this plant, after tons of research and sifting through pictures and online descriptions and everything, I believe is a Nepenthes ventrata, which is a naturally occurring hybrid. Yeah, we're getting all scientific-y. I'm sure it's going to be happening more, so enjoy.
The reason I wanted to explain this one first, what the table is because now you can understand the intricacies of this one. You get the general idea, you get the shape, you get how size it can get, or how sizable it can get. But look at how beautiful this one is. Look at the color. I love the red streaks, I love the vibrant green, and my favorite part is this mouth, which it's not actually called a mouth, and it is beautiful. Super vibrant yellow green with these deep blood red streaks. I mean, this is my other prize plant. This one's very special and one of the more expensive Nepenthes that I had to buy. It's also leaning a little bit. I gotta give him a little stake so he can stand up straight because he's supposed to be there. He's there. He's got like a 30-degree Womp. Now it's time for the set 2 sundew. I guess I gotta get like a towel because this plant's just gonna add more water to this wet mess. But this is my sundew plant, or my sundew plants. And this is a vial that I will explain in a minute. So this carnivorous plant, instead of entrapping its prey through the use of these pretty pictures that also smell and taste very good to a bug that they crawl into and get trapped, there's also the sundew, which has sticky, basically sticky fly tape. Now I'm going to show you how this plant works, okay? It's very simple. Watch this. Oh, uh-oh. How am I going to get out of there? Uh-oh, look at it, still got me. Oh, thank goodness I'm not a bug, or else I'd be totally f***ed. Yeah, so basically these guys grow dew on the end of their dealios here. I'm not getting all scientific.
Little too late.
I want to do a video where I use all the scientific terminology and well-researched. I just don't want to mistakenly say something wrong.
But you forgot that that's what I'm for, you big dummy.
They use these little dudes right here, and they're super sticky. They smell good for bugs, they attract the bugs start eating it, and then it curls up on them, as you could see with this guy, and I don't know how well, different camera angle. As you can see with this spider here, and then this guy unfurling, that's actually a new one. And this is what the new guys look like as they're grown. Now this is the Cape sundew. Both of these two front runners here, the one with the curled up spider and then the one that hasn't curled around the recently dead spider, these are Cape sundews, the most common ones you'll find and probably the easiest ones to grow. Hidden down here though, you'll see my little Alice sundew, which is a rosetted sundew. It does the same thing, it functions the same, it doesn't have these stems in between the sticky and the growth point. It just grows and it's sticky all the way down. I keep having to wipe this dew off myself. So these guys are functionally the same. They'll still curl up around their prey as it lands on there and stimulates it, but it's just a different form. I mean, one stands up, one is on the ground, bada bing, bada boom. And what I haven't talked about yet are these massive stalks growing off of these suckers. What are these all about? Well, if the plant's gonna eat bugs that fly past it, but it still needs to grow flowers, it's gotta get pollinators in there to crossbreed and try different flowers, right? Well, you'd be kinda right, because they do utilize pollinators, and that's why this grows way out here. So that way bees and mosquitoes even and whatnot, when they're pollinating it, they're all up here dealing with all this. They don't get stuck down here and get eaten by a mistake while they're transporting the pollen. So that's why these grow as far away from the plant as they possibly can. And look at, this is the rosetted stalk, and it's even longer, and it's curled. I mean, full length, extended diagonally, we're talking that much. Whereas this stalk for the Cape sundew is only that long, and it's much stiffer. This one's very flimsy, and then it grows dew on it. This stalk is very stiff, and it doesn't grow the dew. That's the sundew plant. That's basically the only one I have for now. Hence this little vial, because I'm going to show you guys a little trick. I haven't seen this on YouTube enough, so I'm going to take this opportunity to do it. These sundews are self-pollinating. Hence the half right about the pollinator parts, because even though they do utilize pollinators, and then pollinators come and give them different genes from other types, different mutations, that's how they evolve.
Partly. I mean, I don't want to overdo this here, so we'll make it very simple. When I say that's how they evolve, that's how they mutate, they get genes from different plants to lead to different outcomes, which have mutations and genetic variations. I'm not saying that's how they evolve directly. It also has to do with a lot of environment. You know what? This is just too much science. Dog, here's the gist, okay? You don't need to have another one. It can produce its own flowers. Those flowers close. Boom, you got seeds. From one single plant, you got all the seeds you could want. But if you want to make different looking ones and have them be different colors, you find other ones and you mix them together, and then that leads to more science, which results in different sundews. Damn, I'm good at this!
They self-pollinate. As these flowers close, which they're bright purple flowers, I have a couple pictures here, and then here you can look up some other pictures. As these guys close up and start to die off like they are now, they'll self-pollinate. And then they'll grow the seeds inside of here. And what you do with said seeds, I don't want to knock over that vial, is I like to take a piece of paper, as most people suggest. And again, there's no work to this. It just will start growing a flower. Don't fertilize it, don't do anything, just let it be, make sure it eats enough bugs. Eventually these flowers are going to close up, turn black and die, And then once they're all black, every flower's closed, you give it a few weeks. Shit, dog. You're gonna have seeds. You take your piece of paper, fold it in half. I got it in like a hot dog fold here. You want this crease in the center. That's the important piece, because then you take your flower stalk and you start tapping it. Tap it against your finger over this piece of paper. And what you'll notice as you, as you tip tap, tippy tappy, tippy tippy tap tap. And since I don't care about having a medley mix, I mix these seeds. But you can, honestly, it's probably better to separate them so you know which one are the Alice Sundew seeds and which one are the Cape Sundew seeds, because you'll see why that's going to be hard to differentiate. I've already done this a few times, so I kind of put some in here for an example. But once you're done, you should have a pack looking like this. You see all that? Those are all seeds. You can see that these suckers are very, very, very tiny. So that's why you get the piece of paper, and that's why you want to use the method that I'm showing you. But when you take these tiny seeds, I use a little vial because I'm a crazy ass. Kind of tap it, use the crease, you can hear it. You just tap these suckers in there. You get as many as you can. You won't get them all. Some of them are so small and sharp that they'll just stick to the paper. So you get as many as you can. Same with the mandarin seeds. You pack these somewhere tight, somewhere dry, somewhere cool, dark. There are easily hundreds and hundreds of seeds from both plants in here. And that's as much as you're looking at. That's them right there. That's it. So that's how I do it. That's how you should do it. I'm telling you. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. Do it. Do it that way or don't do it at all. Goes for the nurseries too. Paper's the only way. So yeah, that's the sundew. It's just all in this one pot. Eventually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these seeds and just go blah in a whole bunch of pots and have thousands of sundews, because I need to get rid of some of the monsteras. I plan to, but the sundews, I'm keeping every single sundew in one of these sun suckers from sunsuckers, because they need like 16 hours of light before you start getting that nice red pigment. So you got a lot of plants. Cool. Can I be done now? No. The reason why is because you can be done whenever you want. You didn't have to wait for the plant segment to be over. Watch it or don't. I don't give a shit. It's my video. I'm going to enjoy it anyway. But we're not just talking about plants today. Bam! Do you see what that is? That's lit. A real book with actual pages and words in it. Watch, this is crazy. This is crazy. Look. Words. In a physical manifestation. It's unbelievable. I also have these. We'll get to that. Starting with the book. I actually do like to read. And I have an older brother who likes to write. And he's quite good at it. But this book, the author is V.M. Zito. The initials V.M. Zito. I don't know if he's written anything else, but it's a zombie book. It's my favorite book of all time. And it expresses a lot of who I am, because zombie culture is part of me. I love zombies. I love the idea of zombies. I love stories told around zombies. And I especially love video games about zombies. Shout out to Project Zomboid. That shit's just amazing. I had to say that. I believe you're looking at around 400 pages of zombie killing, crazy, intense narrative fun. And I need to reread this book because I haven't read it in years. But it's been my favorite book for a long time. And good luck finding it. If you find this, I don't know how you did it, because the only way I could find it was on Amazon for over $1,000. It was like an audiobook version or something. I don't know. And this copy I was given by my older brother who likes to write. I don't know how he found it, but this is my video version. Eternal thank you for that, because just the fact that he found this blows my mind. It's my favorite book. But we're talking about these now. They're stretchy, they're elastic, and these clamps are sharp because these are suspenders. Check this out. This is how they work. They got a front side and a back side, so you don't want to screw it up. Clip those on the back or hook them. You got some hooks, you got buckles, there's all sorts of kinds. These suckers go on the front. Yeah, you thought these were just for fat people, huh? Wrong. In In fact, I argue they're way more effective for us skinny people than they are fat people. Like, you only see fat guys wearing suspenders. I'm saying that. I'm just calling that as it is. The reason for that is because, there's not a good belt size. Well, skinny people, we have the same problem. And in fact, it's worse, because instead of having to poke a hole in a brand new belt that we just bought, only to find out that the hole is offset so the thing doesn't even fit in there right, it's a disaster, okay? These suckers, super easy. And then going to the bathroom, fat, skinny, or otherwise, it's the easiest thing ever. You don't have to sit there and you gotta sit down on the toilet. You just flick these puppies up. Bam! Boom. Access. You stand back up, give them a little hook, you just flick them right back on there. Boom. I love them. They're for us skinny people too. Suspenders are for everyone, and I'm bringing them back. Belts are lame.
Oh, and I didn't actually think of this on camera, because I wasn't, wearing them. I didn't have them all strapped up, but check this out. Check this out. You ready? Bam! You know what that is? That's direct access, baby. You just slip them right off the shoulders. Do what you gotta do, slip them right back on. That's easy, convenient, stylish, even. I rest my case.
This is a recently discovered hobby that I am very much enjoying. Give me your honest opinion, okay? How does that look? Oh shit, yeah, I forgot about the whole lighting situation thing. How does that look? Would you say that's well painted? Not really? Mediocre at best? Fuck you, okay? I love it, and I'm happy because I painted it myself. I put so much nuance and detail work into that, and I'm gonna show you my kit. Standard paints that came with the introduction set to the game. The only brush that comes with the set. It's the only brush I've used. I'm getting pretty damn good at it. Tray for paint. I gotta clean it. Measuring tape. Doesn't come with the thing. You gotta get one of these mini measuring tapes yourself. They're amazing. But it does come. Hold on. Wait. Oh shit. I can't. Fucking clamps, clips, snips, whatever the hell you want to call them. Bam. That's how you get the guys out of the. You cut them off of the frame. I usually keep the frame. I don't have, the frame's not with this kit. But this was the thing I was going to show you. Bam! It comes with this rubber ruler. I like mine better. It's cool as shit. Then you can just go, wham! That shit's looking like 4 inches? I don't know. I'm just making shit up. What about that dude? He's got writing on him. Yeah, it's because it's not mine. You see, with these guys, I do have a special little thing going on. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Almost. Where's he? Where is he? Where is he? Hold on. Where's my boy? Because that's me. Wait. Hold on. Where's he? I bought this guy special. And his leg just came off. I was going to show you my jump troop guy. The jump pack captain. Fucking leg just came off. Shit, I have to re-glue it. I have another one. It's got the name Lee on it here. I just can't find which one it is. But these guys have names because I have 3 brothers. And all 3 of those brothers have taken some level of interest in me doing this. So each one of my brothers gets to paint one for me. And that is theirs. They can have it whenever they want it. It is theirs to paint. I'm not doing anything on it. I'm not touching it. And if we ever play the game together, whenever we do, whichever one they painted, they can have that team and then have that designated to them. And hell, I don't care. They can use my jump captain. That's fine. I'll be the Tyranids, not to be confused with the Terminids. I'm gonna drop this one down real quick. That's my little theory for you. So we're gonna grab the next thing. You have no idea now. Now you don't even know what it could be. It could be a gun. I could put a gun. And you wouldn't even expect it. So here's my gun. No, I'm just kidding. It's alcohol. Even better. Especially in combination. I'm just joking. Now, this is something special that I've referenced many times on the channel and have even participated in drinking on the channel, but haven't actually gotten into much detail aside from saying what it is. Now, what it is, it looks like white wine. And you're wrong. It's plum wine, straight from Asia. Not really, it's from the nearest liquor store. But that liquor store got it from a distributor that got it from a place that somewhere down up the chain, Asia. Special, foreign, tasty, unique, amazing. It's fantastic. And this is my favorite brand and my favorite one. So I'm gonna show you. Wow. It's hard to see, and I'm not doing a special, okay, I'll do one. This is Takara Plum Wine. It's grape, plum, wine, delicious. It's just amazing, and if you're old enough, you should definitely try it. And if you're not, you should get old enough to then definitely try it. Like, I'm not a wine drinker. I'm not much of an alcohol drinker at all. Like, I'll have the occasional social beer, and then I like to mix a little bit of whiskey and tea on occasion. But I don't drink much. And so when I do drink, this is the closest I get to being an alcoholic. Because I'm not saying get addicted to it, but what I am saying is you should try it. Palate it a little bit. Give it a bit of a you know, like fancy wine people do when they go. I sense a hint of plum. See, when I said I'd keep you surprised, you had no expectation of seeing that plum wine. Now you guys are like, okay, now I really don't know what he's gonna bring. And I'm glad to give you that sensation, because what I have for you today is another glass of plum wine. It's just a different one. This is the brand that makes your favorite soy sauce, probably. If it's not your favorite brand of soy sauce, then they still make soy sauce and they make this wine too, and it's pretty good, and you should probably drink some like I'm doing right now. Different flavor. This one's a bit more sour. It's very red, very vibrant, you know, very different color than the caramely amber hue that was that last one. But they're both different. They're both still plum, and they're both very good. So I'm going to drink this on camera now. Now for the true next thing, and we're getting to the end, so don't worry too much. This is my Jamaican statue. You see, I reference that cruise a lot, and I will stop eventually, but it was also one of the most fun experiences I had in my life. Not so much the boat, as much as just the experience of going out and seeing all these different places that I've never experienced before, and all these foreign cultures in the place that they happen firsthand, you know. Then you don't have, like, you're not getting it from movies and other cultures who are deciphering it. You're seeing what it is for what it is, even if you don't understand the extent of that. Like this statue I got from Jamaica. And look, it's even got, where is it? Where does it say it? There. It's even got my name carved into it. How nice. Specially made, custom, just for me, right? Yes. There's no foul trick there. It's not like I'm gonna say no. Yes, this was customly made, painted. I watched the guy do it right in front of me, okay? I was in Jamaica for like 10 seconds. We had just docked and I hit ground, and we were going up to the bus to get on the bus for our tour. We were headed for Ochos Rios to visit the Green Grotto Caves, which you could see pictures of in my personal Instagram. They're unedited, unfiltered, exactly how I took them, although it might be a little hued just because of the lighting. It was on my phone. Unassociated from the YouTube channel, just those are there if you want to see them on the Instagram. I'll link that below. But the man very quickly made this statue. I watched him. He was carving it up and he was getting the paint on it, and he kept like looking over at our crowd while he was doing it. And I was like, that's really cool. Well, he walks up to me with this and a big old knife in his hand, and he says, here, what is your name? I don't want to do impressions or anything. Like, I don't want to sound racist or anything, even though I really like doing impressions. So I'm just going to level it. But just know, if you guys don't mind me doing voices in the future, it's happening. But he walks up to me and he says, what is your name? And I say, I'm Dev. Who's asking? And he says, Dev. Perfect. Starts carving it in there. He goes, quick, 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 quick. Boom. Hands it to me. He puts it in my hand like this. He says, this is for you. Take it. It's yours. It's for good luck. It's for you. And I say, for me? For free? He says, yes, free. Good luck for you. So I start to walk away with this new lucky charm in my hand, my name carved into it and everything. Only for me to board the bus, watch the man walk over to the local police that were standing nearby, point directly at me in the bus, and start doing this number, like. And I say, oh shit, what is going on here? What is happening? Well, the police board the shuttle, and they say, hey, you, come here. So I get called off the bus, and I go up, and I'm like, yeah, what's up, guys? They say, dude, this man says you stole this from him. I go, what? They said he was making it for you, and he sells this merchandise or gift shop over here, and he sells these things for barter prices, meaning you can negotiate however much, and if he's willing to do that price for you or trade an item, they'll do that for you. Okay, I love that. That's a great trade and barter, and then negotiable prices. Fantastic system. I wish it was here in America more. But I look at the guy and I'm like, well, what do you mean? I thought you said it was for free. And he said, free. Yeah, free. Free. He obviously doesn't understand what the word free means, because then he's like, $20. Now. $20. I was like, $20? What the hell? I wouldn't have taken it for $20. What are you talking about? $20? $20!
It's not that I don't think the thing is worth $20. I mean, the guy handcrafted it, sure, but it was the jump from 0 to 20. That's where I was upset. Thought it was a bit too much to go from 0 to hero all quick on me.
They're like, you gotta pay him for it, because it's not free. Because the police knew what free meant. Like, they understood, they can kind of see the confusion there, so they were like, just pay him for it, or give it back. And so initially I tried to give it back. I was like, well, if it's $20, I don't want it. He says, well, I can't take it. It's got your name on it. Give me my damn statue. Thanks. So let this be a little learning lesson for all of you. That miscommunication can be a big problem. And nothing is ever free, even if it's advertised as such. So thanks for watching this free video exploration into my life. If you want to watch the rest of it, be sure to click the link right on screen now. And give me your money. Now this is the last item I would like to speak about today. And it will give you the most direct history as to who I am and what I do that you have received in this video. Period. You see, within this miniature envelope holds my Department of Public Health and Environment Meth Lab certification for the decontamination of any possible meth lab, blood contamination, or any form of biohazard to a public service and general health in the entire state. This is my card that says I can do that. Now there are numbers and such details and things associated with this card that I cannot share, so I won't just directly flash it right on screen for you. You can't see it, it's been redacted. A little bit of context. What this means is basically my career path currently is that I am certified to clean any possible health, safety, location, or situation. I can clean it. Make it safe for the public. If there is a suicide, I can clean it. If there is a meth lab or a drug place or some sort of contamination in that sense that is dangerous to human health, I am not only certified to personally clean it, but I can also supervise any team within the state to clean that properly, according to state regulations and all that fun jazz. You weren't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that either when it happened. But I did want to give you guys some insight because I've mentioned cleaning and cleanliness in the past and how my job schedule fluctuates a lot and how it's all over the place. That's the reason. That's the reason. I mean, that's really it. It's the cause of why my schedule is so crazy and why I can get really sick sometimes, even if it's close back to back. I mean, it's just a bit of a mess. But it is hard ass work and it kicks my ass. So I just wanted to share that, and I did want to inform you guys. Now I'm going to show you the picture that they took, because we were on a job. We were like on job during everything, super hard day, super tired, end of the day, just done with it, over it. And the lady comes in to take our pictures. All, PPE, which is personal protective equipment, all that stuff, everything. They come in there and they're like, hey, we got to do pictures for your badges. And I got, we wear hazmat masks and helmets and everything, so, I've got bad hat hair. I probably have it now, and I got a haircut since then. I got horrible hat hair. I'm very tired, bad mood, and the lady shoves the camera, right up into all of our faces. And we got all screwed over on this picture. Mine is the least bad picture of my entire team's, but this is what it looks like. Oh, it's awful. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. The picture, but also the background, so you guys can understand a little bit of what my career looks like and why a little bit as to the fluctuations, because most people work either some sort of rotating shift or just odd hours. You know, if you're flipping burgers or whatever, then they're just going to put you on the schedule for when they... Like, I get all that. Mine's a little bit different. And that's kind of why it's a little bit different. So hopefully that's a little bit of insight into who I am and what I do. Hence why my schedule is fucking all over the place and I'm always tired and sick. Aside from that, that is everything I meant to show today. I was going to get like my PlayStation up here and show all that stuff off as well. But compared to the amount of stuff I have in storage and everything I wanted to show that just I can't quite do yet, that's gonna be what I stick with for today. But that is video 100. Thank you all so much for 100 videos. This has been a fantastic ride. I've felt like I've improved a lot, and we will improve a lot from this weird, awkward situation that you're probably used to by now, but still makes me a little uncomfortable. So I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to be more awesome. If you guys enjoyed the video, then be sure to just let me know if you guys like this style of video where I sit down and chat. I haven't had a lot of reciprocation either way. So if you don't want these, I won't do these much. I just wanted to do something special. But if you want more of these, I can do more shit like this. You'd be surprised what kind of stuff I could come up with. You have no idea. So thank you. And goodbye. I'll see you in the next one. Sorry this was late. Everything's late.